Welcome to our channel. We're so happy to have you here. Don't forget to subscribe and help us hit our goal of 100,000 subscribers. A Protestant husband and his Catholic wife were not allowed to be buried together. Here are their headstones reaching across the two cemeteries in 1888. Irene Sandler was a Polish social worker. During WW2, she saved the lives of 2,500 children by smuggling them out of the Warsaw Ghetto, despite being tortured by the infamous Gestapo and having both of her legs and feet broken with a sledgehammer. She refused to betray the children. A family poses with their covered wagon in Kansas, 1908. An Iron Man of the past in a diving suit. The suit's name was Iron Man, too. It had electric charging and pressure protection systems. The photo was taken in New York, 1907. Building the hand and torch of the Statue of Liberty, Paris, 1876. April, 1923. Lanvin at the races. The model wears an embroidered jacket with deep V-neck worn over a softly pleated shirt. A large hat and double row of beads over the blouse complete the look. The tallest man to ever live, Robert Wadlow, poses with his family in 1935. Baseball legends, Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig fundraising for a new hospital at Dexter Park in Brooklyn, New York on October. 1928. Ruth subsequently commandeered a cop's horse and proceeded to ride around the stadium. Workers building the Empire State Building, see 1930s. South African police beating women with batons in Durban, South Africa, on April 17, 1962, after they had destroyed and set fire to a brewery in protest against police actions banning homemade alcohol. 2 women, minutes after voting, London, 1929. On September 3, 1967, Sweden made a shift from driving on the left side of the road to driving on the right. This is a picture from the first day after the big change. Mother and son pose for a photo, Ireland, 1890. A motorcycle dispatch rider reading the details of a grave marker. In the background, an observation balloon is preparing to ascend. The writing on the grave marker, written in German, says, "Hier ruhen tapfere französische Krieger," or "Here rest brave French warriors." Henry Ford in the first car he ever built, 1896. This is Jack the Baboon, a South African baboon who worked as a signalman at a railway station in the 1800s. During his almost decade of railway work, Jack never made a single mistake. 2 Newsies, New York, 1896. This is the safety net that was installed under the Golden Gate Bridge during its construction in the 1930s. The net saved 19 people through the duration of the work. The absolutely massive chain for the Titanic's anchor, c. 1909. The longest prison sentence in history of 384,912 years was given not to a dangerous criminal, but to Spanish letter carrier Gabriel March Grandos. He failed to deliver 42,768 letters, opening them to find money. He managed to embezzle about 50,000 euros. After 14 years in prison, he was released. A woman plays a piano designed for people undergoing bed rest, 1935. The Great San Francisco earthquake of 1906 was the deadliest earthquake in U.S. history, resulting in the deaths of over 3,000 people. In the aftermath of the disaster, you could literally see where the earth split along the San Andreas Fault. A photo by Berenice Abbott of a woman wiring an IBM computer, 1948. Pope Pius IX, last sovereign lord of the Papal State before the Italian unification, giving his blessing to King Francis II of Naples, Sicily. Also kneeling on the left is my ancestral relative, Colonel Athanas Charette de la Contrie of the Papal Zouaves. A man repairs the antenna on the World Trade Center, NYC, 1979. Photo by Peter Kaplan. Bottling ketchup at the Heinz factory, Pittsburgh, 1897. A meeting of the Mickey Mouse Club, California, 1930. August 1960, Balela and Strilka, the first dogs to survive space travel, are cradled by Soviet scientist Oleg Gazenko. The Great Blizzard of 1888, New York City. This map, from 1507, is the first map to ever label America as America. As you probably know, it was named in honor of Amerigo Vespucci and was the first map to depict clearly a separate Western Hemisphere with the Pacific as a separate ocean. Ramses II's modern passport, issued by Egypt for international museum travel, bearing the ancient king's occupation, King Deceased. A Wee-era German submarine washed ashore in Hastings, England in 1919. Welcome to our channel. We're so happy to have you here. Don't forget to subscribe and help us hit our goal of 100,000 subscribers. Circa 1929, trailblazing actress Anna May Wong poised and elegant broke barriers as the first Chinese-American movie star in Hollywood. The intact seal on Tutankhamun's tomb, 1922. It went untouched for 3,424 years. Lumberjacks take a photo with a Douglas fir tree, Washington, 1899. Marilyn Monroe graced the cover of the very first issue of Playboy magazine in December 1953. However, she didn't pose for the magazine. The iconic issue featured a nude photo of Monroe, taken years earlier in 1949, which Hugh Hefner purchased for $500 without her direct involvement. Despite the controversy, the issue was an instant hit, selling over 50,000 copies and further cementing Monroe's place in pop culture history. A woman is ticketed for wearing a bikini, 1957. The employee cafeteria at Disneyland, 1961. August, 1945. After B-29 raids, Japan's Marifu rail yards lie in ruins, marking the last days of a devastating war. Circa early 1920s, a cheerful crowd of women enjoying the beach, their joy a testament to post-war liberation and early feminism. A photo of the Isleworth Mona Lisa, which some people believe is an earlier version of Leonardo da Vinci's famous Mona Lisa. It features a younger-looking woman with a similar pose and smile. However, its authenticity and origin has been the subject of debate. While some experts argue Leonardo himself painted it, others believe it could be the work of a follower. An unknown soldier, Vietnam, 1965. An Austrian child gets new shoes during WWI. This is the aftermath of the Great Molasses Flood of 1919, a deadly event that claimed the lives of 21 people in Boston after a container holding over 2 million gallons of molasses burst, sending a wave of molasses several feet high through the city streets. Painting the Eiffel Tower, 1932. A girl tries to get a reaction from a royal guard. Stockholm, Sweden, 1970s. This is a picture of a meeting of the New York chapter of the Fat Men's Club, circa 1930. According to the photo's caption, pictured here are a Rockwitz, 312 pounds, comedian Eddie Carvey, 250 pounds, David Burns, 475 pounds, and F.C. Cupper, 351 pounds. Members had to be at least 200 pounds to join. 1941. Jean Tierney stars in Sundown. Her beauty and grace unforgettable against the backdrop of wartime drama. Audrey Hepburn with her pet deer, 1958. A hippie sells flowers on the road, Oklahoma, 1973. The winged victory of Samothrace, an ancient Greek marble statue, was hidden in the Château de Valençay during World War II to protect it from Nazi looting. As part of the Louvre's efforts to safeguard its most precious artworks, the statue was carefully evacuated and concealed until the war ended. After the liberation of France, it was returned to the Louvre. Below are photos of how it was put back into place atop the top of the Daru staircase. Wojtek the bear who fought in W2. No dog biscuits today, London, 1939. Marilyn Monroe graced the cover of the very first issue of Playboy magazine in December 1953. However, she didn't pose for the magazine. The iconic issue featured a nude photo of Monroe, taken years earlier in 1949, which Hugh Hefner purchased for $500 without her direct involvement. Despite the controversy, the issue was an instant hit, selling over 50,000 copies and further cementing Monroe's place in pop culture history. Mom contains her baby with a trash can while she crochets 1969.